Hello, welcome back to Blender Live. In this episode, I want to take a look at this Material Maker app. It's been around for a few years, but I think only recently it's available for Mac. So I will try to take a look at this app. It's basically a procedural PBR materials generators based on Godot engine. And in recently from release 0.94, Material Maker can also be used to paint PBR materials on 3D models. I haven't looked at it in details, but yeah, there's a lot of libraries materials that you can download online as well. It's really powerful apps. It's very similar to Substance 3D. So yeah, let's get started. This is actually the one, something I created earlier, basically like a stamping of an image. So hopefully we can create that today. So Material Maker powered by Godot. So by default, when you start it, you only greeted by this shader, PBR materials. There's nothing happening until, okay, you can preview in 3D objects. So by default, you get this cube, but you can also select other 3D objects or set up your own custom. Maybe I'll just gonna go to, where's my desktop? I'll use monkey head. Okay, we have Suzanne. So let's save this first file. Save as Material Maker. First look. First save. Okay, so the interface itself is actually pretty easy to understand if you get used to Blender and other 3D app. And it's a node-based system, right? So by default, there are all these nodes. There are over 200 nodes, and don't be scared because all of these nodes, you're gonna learn the nodes slowly. And I recommend you, when you first started with this, maybe you want to grab like an image. So space, if you right click or space bar, you can just grab an image. So you probably don't know where the image is here. You can filter it out. The image is somewhere here, but normally you kind of guess. You can kind of guess what you want. So let's say by default, for start with, you want to start with an image. Okay, I have this image of Squid, and just plug it into Suzanne. So we have Suzanne with a Squid, and this image actually have alpha channel. So that's, and you can change the size, output. I will choose 2048 for now. So that's just like a simple image. There are other things that you can start to play with, like the pattern. There are so many patterns here. You can start with checker or brick. There's also a cool one like beehive. So you can see with the image, you actually have this green color that's kind of like RGB output. I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing. And then with beehive, we have control over the pattern, how many dots, or like what's the tile of the beehive. There are other cool things like runes and this etching. Etching is like a pattern that you might find at a temple or something. It's I think Korean flag or some kind of pattern design that's from China, maybe looking like that. It's called etching. And there's also this rune that's kind of like a pattern that generates aliens alphabet of some sort. Okay, let me go back. Okay, file, save. So that's pattern. You can play around with pattern, and usually the next thing after pattern is, you're probably wondering, okay, we have, for example, we have like a checkerboard pattern as usual. We can scale it you can maybe like remap it, right? So I'm just kind of guessing. So yeah, apparently you can remap, color map. There are so many options, but I think colorize is what you want. So I just changed the color very quickly. This is just showing you the basics. So pattern, so you can see all this pattern. It's outputting like a gray scale imagery, but the image is actually green color. Okay, you might be wondering how can we deal with this. So the next thing I recommend you to go, so there's also noise. Okay, you can play around with the noise maybe a little bit later. Transform is what you want. So with transform, there is a tiler and circle splatter. Okay, this is something that you can use with the pattern. In fact, tile actually I think better works with the shapes. Okay, with shapes like circle, stars, things like that. So I'm just gonna kind of guess. I'm guessing there's a shape. Okay, yeah, there is apparently a shape like a star. If we plug this into the albedo, yeah, it's a star over Suzanne. Maybe for the model, I'm gonna select the cube for now. So we have a star, right? These shapes can be modified. We can actually plug this into the input of tiler, and we're gonna get a tile of stars. And by default, the tiler is actually stamping the star. So this is actually one of the coolest nodes. One of the cool nodes, really powerful inside Material Maker. You can play around with the size, etc. Random scale, that's pretty self-explanatory. There's this dice that you can click to randomize the seed. Okay, there's also something you probably want to know. And you can colorize after. So this is just the basic. Okay, so star can be randomized. You can also change this to circle, polygons. Polygons can have different sides, curved stars, rays. Yeah, all the cool stuff. Okay, it happens simply by using these nodes. If you try to recreate this using cycles, probably like you're gonna get a headache really quickly, because cycles is slightly different. It's not made for that, but with Material Maker you can create something like this very easily. Yeah, you can even tile like this image of cactus. But for now, okay, so we understand there's a tile. I'm just gonna disconnect this. There's this image, however, there's a transform, translate, rotate, scale. So this is actually exactly just like what it says. You can rotate, you can scale image. Yeah, so this is also pretty simple, but it's also useful. And once you get to the tile splatter, actually tile variation splatter, probably color splatter. This is probably what you want. Yeah, this one will give you like a stamping. Yeah, let's reduce the number and then scale this. So very quickly you can get like a random image of squid being stamped over the cube. You can adjust the opacity. So there's a random opacity, random scale, pretty much self-explanatory. There's random rotation, random scale. The input, you can have multiple input, I believe. So if we have 4 input, I haven't played around with this, but you can have multiple input of image and then you can randomly scatter it. For now, just keep it simple. And the seed, okay, and then we can control how many squid we want to have. So this squid itself was actually an image that with the background removed. So it's this image of the balloon from Bondi the other day, and I just removed the background. I can also replace it with other objects like this lime. Yeah, let's try that lime actually. Start with image and go to the desktop, find our image. Where is it? Big lime? What is it called? Big lime? Big lime, okay. It's a lime. And yeah, this lime is, there's another lime that with alpha already removed. So an image with alpha remove will be more useful. Okay, like this. Color splatter. Yeah, I really like this effect actually. Color splatter. It just stamp your 3D objects. It stamp this image in random fashions for the it generating the texture for you. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's like this, like Photoshop. So the next thing I recommend you to try is like Kaleidoscope. Okay, this kind of effects, probably something that you already know. And what is it? Offset and count. You can tell it how many sides of kaleidoscope you want to have for this image, and you can use this with color splatter. Yeah, you're gonna get quite an abstract looking result. Okay, let's get our model again. Suzanne. Okay, I need to do this again. Okay, options, click. You can rotate the environment and also, okay, rotate Suzanne. So anyway, so we covered a lot of things already, like very quickly. There's also mirror, scale, translator to scale, and there's this mirror. It's gonna be super handy. It's gonna mirror the Squid. We can offset the mirror and we can plug this into color splatter. You know the drill. Now we already learned so much in just a few minutes. So those are the basics. I believe you're gonna spend like hours just to play around with that. There's Tyler and there's this color Tyler, and then the circle splatter. That's definitely something you can try yourself. There's warp. I haven't tried warp, but that's transform. There's filter. This is like a lot of filters that you actually can use with a normal image. It's gonna convert it into normal, I believe. Yeah. For now, I'm not gonna touch this filter. That's gonna be maybe another video. The one that's interesting. What's another interesting thing about this app is that we have material from website. I've shown you this before in the other video. You can just load all this library. If you want, if you create like a cool material, you can also send it. Oops, there's a delivery. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna continue the next video. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you. Bye.